there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Judith and I make videos all about the journey of running a small business. And if you're an OG, welcome back. So today's video is gonna be super fun. It's about my top 10 or 12, let's see how many I have on my list, Amazon must-haves for running a small business. So right on time for the holidays, if you have a special someone in your family that you know is running a small business or is thinking about running a small business, here are some things that you can gift them right on time for the holidays. Or if not, buy them yourself for yourself. That's what I did. Before we get started in today's video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and let the algorithm know that you like my content. So in no particular order, we're gonna go ahead and get started with some of these supplies. Some of them might be candle business specific, some of them might be general for all businesses. So the very first thing on our list as a must-have for all small businesses, especially if you're making products and you're shipping it, is a thermal printer. Now, the big hype about a thermal printer, if you don't know about it, is that it requires absolutely no ink. So you're not wasting money on ink cartridges to replace. It uses thermal heating to print your labels. So whether you're using these labels for your shipping labels or your packaging slips that you include inside of your items, or you're making cute little stickers to wrap your tissue in or put on the outside of your products, like the possibilities are endless and you're using no ink whatsoever. So whether you're using a Dymo or a Rollo, I've had both. I prefer the Rollo because you're able to print really small fonts and it's super clear and it prints actually a couple seconds faster. Not that that really matters, but it prints out and shoots out your labels super fast. So I actually started out with a Dymo. I loved it, nothing wrong with it. But then I heard about the Rollo and it just looks cuter and it's kind of sleeker. And I actually had the Bluetooth version, so it required less wires, and I'm all about minimal stuff. I don't want wires on my desk and things like that. So I prefer the Rollo over the Dymo, but either one is good. Oh, and all of the products that I'm gonna be talking about today are gonna be linked down below so that you guys can easily assess them. And you can check out more supplies within my Amazon storefront. All of the supplies that I use within my business are linked down below. Everyone, jumping in here really quickly to talk about my small business budget chart. This is something I made years ago and I use it every single day in both my personal life and my business life. There's 3 different tabs full of valuable information. The first tab will show you your business startup costs. From material costs, equipment costs, everything is in here. And it's gonna show you exactly dollar for dollar how much it's gonna cost for you to actually start up that business. Everything is editable and changeable as needed. The second tab is gonna show you your cost of goods. Every single material it takes to create your product is going to show you exactly what it is, and it will help you build profitable retail and wholesale prices, which is super important. If this is something that you can see bringing value into your business, click on the link description below and grab yours today. The next thing on my list is a heat gun. There's not much I can say about it. It's just a heat gun, but this is the one that I like to use, whether you're making candles and you need to smooth out your tops, or you're making lip balms or soaps or anything else that requires a heat gun. This is a really great one at a good price point, and yeah. That's it. So the next thing on my list is a little controversial in the candle industry. Some people like to use it, some people don't, is a pouring funnel. So a pouring funnel, it's actually like a cake batter funnel, but lots of people use it to get precise pouring in their jars, especially if you're doing smaller pours like 4-ounce jars, 2-ounce jars, or maybe even tea lights. It's super easy for you to just go ahead and get perfect aiming without creating too much spillage. It's less spills to clean up. Yes, it's a little time consuming because you do have to go back to your pouring pitcher, fill up the little pouring funnel, and continue pouring unless you get a bigger funnel. But in my years of experience of making candles, it has been my go-to for getting precise pouring and creating less of a mess for you to clean up. So some people love it, some people hate it, but even if you hate it, you kind of like it because it does make the process a little bit smoother, but that's definitely a must-have for candle making. And even, not lip balms, but soap makers. Like, I feel like you can get into really small little molds that way. And speaking of molds, that's the next thing on my list. If you're a candle maker and instead of selling the regular clam shells for your wax melts, do something a little bit different. There are these awesome little chocolate molds for baking and for creating candies and things like that. Online, I actually got a 2-pack of this mold and started making my wax melts within that. I actually make a lot more wax melts using these molds than the clamshell. These molds are actually fantastic for soap makers making tiny little soap samples to give out. Or you can do what I did. I sold my wax melts not in clamshells, but I actually sold them in little pouch bags. So you can fill up a pouch bag with as many as you want. I think I fit like about 40 wax melts in a nice little 2-ounce, actually it was like an 8-ounce pouch. I filled that up. It gives it a different look, something a little bit more upscale and something different than the classic clamshell that everyone else has. So it's a nice little touch. Okay, and going back to printers, if you're looking for a really good printer for printing out your labels and other things like that, I would highly recommend the HP LaserJet printer. If you've watched my other videos before, you know I've struggled with my LX500C printer. I think I just really lucked out. Well, not lucked out, but I feel like I just really got a bad printer with the LX500C. It's supposed to be a really high grade professional label printer if you want to test your luck with that. And I know about like 3 or 4 other businesses that use this printer and they don't have any problems. I think I just was unlucky and had a really bad one. If I had to do it over again, I probably wouldn't get that one, but I would really recommend the HP LaserJet. It's my big printer that I have over here on the side. There is a newer version, which I'll pop a picture up here on the screen. It's just a really great high quality printer that's fantastic for label making. And this was the printer that I would always fall back on whenever my LX printer was giving me problems. So I highly recommend the HP printer over the LX. Sometimes it's better to just invest in something that's a good quality that you can use for your business all around than a specific printer that is only good for one type of product. So highly recommend the HP printer. Another nice must-have for your business is a business stamp. So what kind of stamps do you get? Do you get like the self-stamping stamp that has the ink inside and then you can just like stamp away and then you have to replace the pad? Or do you get the ones that you stamp on one of those ink pads? I recommend the ink pad ones just because you can always just replace the ink pads. And I have this really great company that I've been ordering all of my stamps from. It's called Remarkable Stamps. And let me tell you, their turnaround time, it's like 2 to 3 days and then you get your stamp. They're probably using some sort of laser to cut out your design, but they have never failed me. I think I had about like 3 or 4 stamps from this company and I highly recommend them. I've been using them for years and I've been recommending them to all other makers because preciseness of how they design it, it's just perfection. And it was like a clean stamp every single time. Like I was using these stamps to stamp my muslin bags that I would put like free samples in, and every time you would get a nice clean stamp, beautiful edges, and it looks like it was like professionally stamped from a machine. So a business stamp is a nice little stocking stuffer for this holiday season. So for my candle makers, a nice little upgrade if you don't already have one is a Presto Pot. So if you're just starting out as a candle business, we're probably using the double boiler method, which there's nothing wrong with that, but oh my God, when Peter finally got me a Presto Pot for Christmas, I was the happiest girl ever. I could not stop smiling. I was like pumping out 20 candles a batch because I think the Presto Pot holds about 10 pounds of wax. And I was doing like 10 to 12, maybe 20. I can't remember how many it actually makes candles at a time. And I thought, yeah, this is it. You know, like I thought I had it made. I had like my little Presto Pot in the corner of my kitchen, and you can really pump out a higher volume of candles than doing the double boiler method. Plus, it's still small enough that you can kind of like hide it underneath your sink if you don't have an actual studio. You can just hide it in your kitchen cabinet or underneath wherever you put your pots, and just like put it with the rest of it when you're not using it if you don't want to just have it displayed. It's a nice small size. It can be tucked away or hidden anywhere. The next couple of supplies are all about organization. Else I recommend is an organizational like pegboard. You know, the ones that you see from IKEA, but you don't actually have to go to IKEA. You can get it straight off of Amazon. I have a pegboard that is actually from Amazon, where, like the pegboard that you see behind me here, you know, you have your nice little pegs. It's gonna help your maker or your business owner be a lot more organized within their business and to feel a little bit more professional too. Once you have everything organized right in front of you and you're not walking back and forth to get supplies, it reduces a lot of time and it makes the making process a lot more efficient and more smoother this way. And I love the way that you can customize these boards with little cup holders, clips to hold your papers and your orders that you need to make, or you can hang all of your little supplies and any of the products that you're making. The possibilities are endless, and I always love the little pegboard thing. Another organizational hack is the cabinet drawers. I used to use these to store all of my lip balms and perfume oils once made. I think I even put tons of tea lights in there, and I love how you can just p-touch and label out the names of all of the products that you're putting in the drawers, and these drawers interlock so you can stack them on top of each other, put them on your desk, put them on a shelf, and keep everything tidy and clean and off of your desk and in a drawer, organized, where you can simply just pull out what you need and get to work. Now, the next couple of supplies are actually for my makers that are out there doing street fairs, events, markets, and pop-ups. Get yourself a foldable hand truck. And I say foldable because I live in a small space. Not everyone has the space to actually have like a big hand truck, but these things fold flat. You can slip it into your closet, hide it underneath your bed or your couch. It's fantastic for when you're doing shows and you need to stack up all of your supplies and your boxes and things like that. But then when you're not using it, like, where do you store this thing? So I love how compact this thing is. I've been using it for years. I have 2 of them that I use all the time. One of my other favorite tools that I use for shows is a toolbox. So I actually have a DeWalt toolbox. I have 2. They're stackable and they're interlockable. And the reason why I love it is because if you're not using the foldable hand truck, these toolboxes are fantastic and they're super sturdy. Now, this is if you have more space to store this toolbox, because it is pretty big and bulky. I keep mine in my storage unit downstairs in the basement, but I love them because they have wheels. They're super hard and sturdy. You open that baby up and you can put so much in there. Like, I'll put all of my lip balms and perfumes within boxes in this toolbox. I'm putting shopping bags, any signage that I need, and other supplies like tablecloths fit all inside of these boxes. I have 2 that stack on top of each other. So I always end up using my foldable hand truck and this toolbox to get to shows and carry all of my supplies. But definitely having that toolbox has been a game changer for me, like getting in and out of spaces. And then actually while I'm at the shows, I end up using the toolbox as a chair. So it actually ends up playing double duty. So that's pretty good. So that's it for today's video. I hope you found all of that useful. I think we have about like 2 weeks before Christmas, so hurry up and get shopping and buy your loved one something on this list. Everything that I mentioned today is going to be linked down below or in my Amazon storefront. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Why do I talk like that? I hate myself. I should just start that whole piece over, right? I should. Oh my God, this is gonna be a lot of editing.